Hey, welcome back to another video. This topic of today's video is going to be talking about sabotaging events. This is one of those things that comes up regularly, and I got an email about it, so I think it would be a good time to re-hit that. But before I do that, this channel, Dad Surviving Divorce, is about surviving narcissistic, toxic, mental and emotional abuse whenever you have kids, primarily. And going through a toxic divorce, this channel is open to both men and women, and if you think that this could be helpful for you, please hit the bell notification, hit the subscribe button, and make sure that you are on the list to get all new videos when they publish, if YouTube decides to tell you. Okay, let's just dive into this. One thing that is rather common is your toxic ex is going to do everything in their power to try to ruin any special event. I do not know how many times I've received emails or even seen comments on Facebook groups where somebody says, I tried to coordinate with the ex for a vacation, they said okay, we planned it months ahead of time, now that we're getting down to the wire, they're either one of two things: either they were going to watch the kids and now they say they can't, or they do something to make sure you can't go. Like if they need to get your passports, they're waiting till the last minute. If you're going someplace special, they'll take the kids to that. You know, they'll try to preempt it. I mean, I remember even a story a while back I heard of somebody that they were like, hey, I'm gonna take you guys all to the amusement park. And right before they were planning on going, they had time with the other parent. The other parent took them to the exact same place, wore them out, took them to everything they could take them to for 3 days. So by the time the kids got back home, they didn't want to go anymore. They were completely burnt out. I mean, they had done it for days, so they were tired and the excitement was gone. The first time that this happens to you, it is going to just blow your mind, because you're not going to believe that anybody would actually do something like that. I mean, it's like, how in the hell would somebody, or why would they do that? And you shared the information, not to rub it in their face, but just to coordinate, to co-parent, to make sure you guys are on the same page and make sure everything goes okay, right? That's the goal. And then you're left shell-shocked because it didn't go that way. It went completely opposite, and now your special event has been ruined. If you have tickets or money invested in it, that's generally a problem. And you might be sitting there thinking, oh my God, what do I do? And there are a couple of simple things that you can do. Some things that aren't so simple and are a little frustrating, but it really takes a mindset shift to really be able to pull this off. The first thing on this is be very cautious what you share with your kids and your ex. This has happened both ways, where people have actually shared, like I was talking about a minute ago, where people have shared the information directly with the ex and they've done something to sabotage it. But what is also common is you tell your children, hey guys, we're going to Disneyland, or we're going to whatever, we're going to go do some special event. We're going to go to, medieval times. If you guys remember the stories I've talked about in the past on that. When you tell your kids that, they naturally, most of the time, are going to tell the other parent because they're excited and they want to share. It's like, oh, maybe even the other parent's asking, oh, what are you guys going to do for your vacation? Or what's going on? Or, anything interesting come up? Something like that. And they will share the information. They don't realize, most of our kids don't realize what's going on. They think they can trust their parent. They don't think that they would do anything cruel and wrong like that. So the first thing is, don't tell the ex specifically what you have plans. Unless you're court ordered to do it, don't tell them. If you have to tell them the time frame, that's fine. The next thing is don't tell the kids. Keep it a secret. Don't let them know. Even whenever I did that, the ex still tried to sabotage things just by trying to guess. So they are very tenacious. They have a lot of perseverance to continue to try to mess with you, and they will more than likely do that. Okay, And then this kind of rolls into the last part of this, which is, or the last thing that I just really want to hit, and that is be careful what you plan. If you are planning something that has reservations, that has money tied to it, you know, non-refundable tickets, that type of thing, you have to be very cautious. Now, you're going to start to see what your ex is going to do. I mean, if you're early on this, I would almost plan on testing the waters, right? Say, oh, we got something going on, and keep it low key, but throw out the, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I want, this is my preferred schedule, and see what happens. See what they do, right? And do it on stuff that's not as important. Then you can kind of gauge it. And then even if you get some successes on that, I would still play your cards very close on what you're doing, unless it's against the court order and you have to tell them. And I say that because if you are going on a, let's say you're going to Hawaii. I don't know why I'm saying that, but just say hypothetically you're doing that. And everybody knows you're leaving. You know, you get the kids on Friday and you're flying out Friday night, or you're flying out early Saturday morning. If they know that, then they might plan something and be late. Oh my gosh, we went someplace, we thought we were going to get back, but the car broke down. You know, it's it's just one of those things that happens. I would also build in, one, don't tell them what you're doing. The second part about that is build in a buffer if you can. You know, if you're planning on going, flying out on a Saturday, or that's what your original plan was, leave a day later. Leave a day later. Do something to make sure that it can't be sabotaged. There was a comment in one of my videos where somebody said that this was happening with them, and what they did is the ex started playing this game where they had a trip planned, and it was, I think it was like, you know, a cousin was getting married, you know, young kids. Oh, you know, now there's this special function for the family that we have to go to, even though that the trip had been planned. And what the person had done was got the kids, you know, out of school and went on their day, and I mean, just really timed everything to make sure that it didn't get interrupted with. The ex was mad, you know, yelled and screamed and tried to make a big scene about it. But at the end of the day, they were able to salvage their special event. This is really tough because you do not expect them, until you've experienced it, you do not expect this is going to happen. I will tell you that the first time this happened, it blew my mind. I did not in a million years think that my ex would be that cruel, that vindictive, and screw with things. But she did, and she was consistent with it. And I don't know how many times, I mean, she would wait till the last minute to tell me whenever she was going to have vacation, and typically what she would do is she would tell me the wrong dates. She would have, everything would she would either make it to where I had the kids in the middle of it, and then so I'd have to make plans to have something for them. Oftentimes that meant paying for a week of summer camp so I could work, for them not to even go. I mean, it's just that type of crap that they're going to do. They are going to do everything, more than likely in their power, to try to complicate your situation, to cause you to spend more money, and just add stress into your life. Do things to mitigate it. What I've started to do, and this year was probably the first year I really didn't plan anything. You know, with the things that happened financially this year, it's been really rough, so no real big plans. But last year when we did have plans, everything was day trips and easily moved around. There was one thing where we actually had hotel reservations, and we were holding that like state secrets. We did not hint with what we were doing, and to be perfectly honest, we didn't even tell the kids what was going on until we were in the car heading down the road, and we're basically there. It's like, hey, this is where we're going, you know, this is what we're going to be doing, right? I mean, it wasn't until everything was already locked and ready to go did we leak it to the kids. Now, the kids weren't happy about it because, at least my kids, for the most part, don't like change and don't like things being like that. It makes them anxious. So it was tough, right? So it wasn't really, you know, they weren't really into that whole close hold of information. So it was it made things complicated, but that's what we did, and I would encourage you to do the same thing. You want to make sure that your plans are secured, that you have exit strategies, and you need to plan and be prepared for your ex to do something to screw it up. Just be prepared for it. That makes it really tough whenever you're doing trips that require airline tickets, hotel reservations, and stuff like that. But even with it, I've talked to a lot of people who have been able to do that, and they do exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of this, is they give themselves a buffer. It's like, hey, we're gonna leave Friday, but we're not really, or whatever. We're gonna leave Friday night or Friday in the middle of the day, but they're not actually leaving until late Saturday or late Sunday or something. I mean, so they give themselves a buffer. So even if the ex tries to screw around with the schedule and tries to be like, oh, well, it was just an accident and the tire blew on the car, or, it broke down, or we ran out of gas, or something, right? Because they're masters at creating situations where it's plausible deniability that, well, okay, well, maybe it really did happen. It was just an accident, and those things happen. Prepare for it. Plan for it. Don't expect that they are going to go out of their way to try to work with you to make sure that everything happens. I know this is tough. I know this is incredibly frustrating. I know that you can allow this to really get to you. Here's the deal. Fundamentally, there's not a whole hell of a lot we can do about it. So you can get angry about it. You can get frustrated. You can even send those terse emails. But unless, document it, in case you end up back at court. But realistically, if you're not going to go to court, or you don't have the money for it, you have to understand the situation you have and work around it. Mitigate it. Take what you know about these type of people, what they're probably going to do, plan around it, and you really can do a pretty good job of mitigating anything that they try to do. For people who are going through this, or who have gone through this, and for the people who are going through this, if you could share your thoughts in the comments below about what you've been able to do to prevent this, or maybe even some examples of, you tried something and this is what the ex did. I mean, I know I've made videos about this before. I'll see if I can find one and put it in the card up above. And just prepare yourself. As the holidays are coming up, I know summer's over, but school's getting ready to start. Things are starting to get going again. So there's an opportunity for this type of stuff to happen with the holidays coming up, and just prepare yourself. Hopefully you don't have to deal with this. Hopefully this doesn't happen. But if you can think about it and have contingencies that you can make rationally and calmly, not where you're getting angry about it. I used to get angry about it. And you can do a really good job of mitigating this. So on that, I am going to wrap this up. If you know of anybody who this video would be helpful for, please consider sharing it with them. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit the bell or ring the bell notification so that YouTube will tell you when I post a video. And I will chat with you on the next video. Take care.